What's up, guys? Welcome to another Ask Matt. Hope everyone is doing super well. As always, if you're watching the replay, feel free to skip ahead a couple of minutes. Just waiting, giving some background and updates as we wait for some people to get in so some questions can start rolling. If you're catching the replay and it's before this Thursday, the 24th, then there's a meetup in LA, Amazon meetup, that I'm going to be at. All the details are the first link in the description. It's this Thursday. You have to RSVP, so make sure you check out that link ASAP. I'll mention it again as people roll in, but if you're catching the replay and it's in the next day or so, then, almost 2 days, then be sure to check that. So hope to see a lot of you guys there. Again, that's top link in the description of this live stream. So yeah, that's going on. Other than that, same stuff. No real updates. Hope you guys caught the new vlog that I uploaded yesterday. That one was all about, what was that one about? I recorded it. It was a little delayed because Francis was out of town. So, it was the story of my first product, exposing my first product. So make sure you watch that vlog. It was a story of my first product, which was not all that great. So I tell all about it. People starting to roll in. What's up, everyone that's here live? If you weren't in here right away, I just want to mention for those of you that are live, there's an Amazon meetup this Thursday, the 24th in LA. All the details are the top link in the description. Make sure you check that out. I'll mention it a couple times just to make sure people do, because I want to make sure people get there. I'll speak a little bit more about it once more people get in here. What's up, Anush? Thanks. Yeah, he says congrats on 15,000 subs. Yeah, I appreciate it. As always, I'm super thankful for each and every one of you. If you're in here live, obviously you're already subscribed. If you're watching the replay and you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Make sure you check out all my videos in the past as well. Yeah, Vlog 66 screen protector story. Yeah, definitely go check out the new one. It's doing pretty well in terms of views for a day, so that's pretty cool. Trying to think if there's any other real interesting updates for you guys. Nothing new really. Same stuff. Well, I mean, there's plenty of new stuff, but it's just the same new stuff. So if you guys are in here live, start hitting me up with questions. I'm on it. Might as well get going and get started. My product is ranked 4 in all departments for my main keyword, but when you start to type it in Amazon auto suggest, it takes you to its category where I'm ranked 20. Any help there? That's a little bit confusing, honestly. I really don't. I feel like I can't give a clear answer. I'm not sure I fully understand it. I don't understand how you're talking about that in context of search results, because if you're just typing it into the broad search results, the subcategory doesn't matter. Your BSR and your ranking within a subcategory is basically irrelevant to the search results. That is for the ranking in terms of who's number 1, who's number 2 in terms of the subcategory, not the search results. So I don't know if that helps clear up your question, but otherwise I'm not sure I really understand it. Love your Q&As, which bizarrely listen to in the shower. That's cool. I've started listening to podcasts in the shower recently. I never did that, but so I understand. Will you ever do a meetup in the SF Bay Area? Yeah, probably at some point. If you don't know, I'm actually from that area originally. Not exactly the Bay, but an hour outside. So usually when I go back up there, I just am kind of chilling. But yeah, I mean, I should do something in not just the Bay Area, but other locations too. I've had some interest, so I'm sure that'll come eventually, especially as my audience grows and things like that, as there's more interest. So if you're somewhere other than, the obvious LA, New York, let me know. Does your course inform you on what needs to be done before you're live with your product. Yeah, definitely. I believe it is section 5, which is building your foundation. So that comes after sourcing and before day 1 launch section. So that's going to be the things that are absolutely required. So that section doesn't go into the crazy advanced stuff, which is later in the course and can also be applied at that stage for the more advanced people. But that stage is going to be everything that's absolutely mandatory in that gap. But then you can also learn the more advanced scaling type of techniques that can be applied to supercharge your first launch. And you can do all those things in between sourcing and your actual launch. Hi, Matt. Sent you a couple of questions on Facebook Messenger. Hope to speak to you soon again. Unfortunately, have to sleep now. Damn time zone. We'll watch the replay later. Good luck and keep it up. Yeah. As far as messages, I'm behind. Sorry, guys. So if you ever are trying to get a personal message to me, just try again. It's hard, especially Facebook has gotten hard. I'm kind of buried on Instagram right now. But, you're not bothering me if you ask again, and maybe it comes through at a good time that I just notice it. But I haven't recently been able to dive deep into the ones that I'm really buried under. So sorry if I haven't gotten back to a message of yours. For any message, I'll throw this out. For any message that's not private, ask it in the Facebook group, because that way, if I answer it, other people can benefit and other people can answer it as well. So it's just a better situation. Now, I totally understand and I totally love it that people want to send me private questions as well. But if it doesn't have to be private, there's advantages for it not to be private. It makes it easier and more scaled for everybody. So, yeah. How's the weather in California? It's all right. It's been better. It's warm, but kind of hazy right now. How do I get the Amazon Choice badge? Honestly, it's not something, as far as I know, to be manipulated. It just happens based on sales through keywords. So if your product is highly purchased through a particular keyword, then Amazon puts it as the Amazon Choice for that keyword. That's how the Amazon Choice works. Hey Matt, wanted to know if you took an Amazon course and your general thoughts on taking a course. There are a lot of options out there. Comments on your own course appreciated too. Yeah, so I've always said I'm never going to be somebody that lies and tell you I did take a course when I didn't. So I did not take a course. That said, I think that there are definitely advantages and benefits to doing it. But is it required? No. Is it absolutely impossible to be successful without a course? No, absolutely not. The advantage of a course is that it's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to potentially avoid you a lot of costly mistakes that might outweigh the cost of the course. And it's just going to speed up your entire process and limit your confusion by getting information in other places. Now, of course, I would tell you mine's really great, but who wouldn't tell you that their own course is great? But just look at all my other videos and get a feel for what my stuff is about, and I think you'll see what the difference is with mine. Mine is not hypey. Mine is not this is easy, this is quick, this is just like a guaranteed thing, because that would sell more courses, but that is not really the case with Amazon. I personally do not think it's a guarantee. I do not think it's super easy. It's very doable. It's one of the most amazing opportunities out there. Probably the best opportunity out there, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to succeed. That doesn't mean it's super easy. That doesn't mean it's going to cost you zero money to get into it. But for people that have the mindset of building a real business on the back of Amazon, in that case, I know mine's the best, because that's the foundation that my course is built on. It's that it's going to be hard. You're building something real. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. And then it also just doesn't end on, it's not just like how to use a giveaway service and get onto Amazon. It's like how to run your business day to day, how to scale it over the next few years. So that's kind of the difference on mine. Is coffee saturated? Look, I mean, I'll make this broader than just coffee, because look, I haven't looked at that exact market. I like the coffee market. That said, there are definitely markets that are more saturated than others. That doesn't mean it's necessarily too saturated. It just means you're going to be playing in a more mature market. So are you of the ability to play in a more mature market? There's always opportunity in mature markets. You just have to be better now. I almost, at this stage of my career, if you will, I don't like to get into like an unsaturated market. I know that sounds weird, but then you're playing this like short-term time arbitrage type of game. I'd rather get into a market where I can look at the competitors, look at the playing field, and be like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to crush everyone because this is what it is. I don't like thinking like, I have 3 weeks to get in stock or else I'm going to be screwed because this new listing just popped up and oh my God, like that's just not the game that I like to play. I like to just look at the market and be like, where can I fit in? How can I be better? It's just that's where I'm at this level. I'm not saying the word saturation is saturated, if you will, but it's important, but it's just not really the way that I'm playing the game at this point. Now, I think if you're starting out and you want something lower risk, it's wise to go into something that is a little bit less saturated. With that usually comes less opportunity. Less saturation usually means less risk, less upside. More saturation, more risk, but potentially more upside if you break into this large market. Typically, it's the larger markets that get more saturated. There's more money there. Real quick, if you guys didn't hear it, there's an Amazon meetup in LA this Thursday. Link is in the description. I'm going to be there. Definitely come out. There is like a 25 entry fee just to cover the space, and there's going to be like food and all that type of stuff. Last I saw, there were only like 13 spots or so left. I don't know exactly the number or how strict that's going to be, but if you're interested in coming to that LA meetup on this Thursday, the 24th, make sure you do that at the top link in the description. And I'll see you there. Yeah, there's going to be, I'll say a bit more. There's going to be speakers. It's going to be really cool. Hang out, network, meet people, get your questions answered with me, others. It's just, getting yourself around people that are doing the same thing you're doing is one of the best ways to up your game in business. Like, it can be extremely isolating to be the only person in your group of friends that is trying to do something entrepreneurial, and just seeing that other people are really doing it and that they really exist is definitely a mindset shift. So whether you're going to come out to this event or other events, a great hack for sure. Nobody in the Amazon YouTube space talks about how exactly to start an actual business. Everyone is just like, search product, set up seller's account. Yeah, I agree. I mean, people don't take a long-term approach. They're just looking for the quick little hack. I feel like I've said this at so many times at this point. So I feel like those of you that have been following the channel for a while, you get it. But if you're new here, yeah, I hate the short-term hack, the one secret, all this stuff. It's just not the way to go about it, in my opinion. You need to approach this as a real business. I'm almost a little tired of saying that, but that's just what it is. Like, how are we even having this discussion? Like this, you need to take some level of financial risk. You need to be able to stomach that. You need to put in work. Like, you're building something that is potentially life-changing, potentially 7 figures. You're building something literally huge. I mean, this is your life. This is your career. Like, stop playing. Like, stop looking at this just like a little like side game or something. It's so strange. And if you want to build a side income using this, I think that's totally doable as well. But being realistic about the fact that, there are ups and downs. That's like, how are we even having to say that? But that's the case because a lot of people are just overhyping. Now, when I say that, I feel like I almost take it too far, and I don't want to discourage anybody. This is an amazing, ridiculous opportunity. I mean, it's like literally the craziest. There's so much traffic on Amazon. Like, selling products has literally never been more accessible. The fact that you can just contact manufacturers in China, have things made as your brand, get logos done, get all this stuff done, create your brand, serve a market, launch your product. I mean, that's mind-blowingly easy in some ways. Excuse me. Let me see. When do you recommend getting an accountant with your Amazon business? I would say once you're not dabbling. Like, once you can afford it, once there's some money, once it's worth getting everything organized, that's where you should really think about getting an accountant. When running Facebook ads, is using one-time use coupon safe, or should I use a lot of unique coupon codes instead? So yeah, this is something that still needs a lot of clarification. I've talked to a lot of people just recently that are still not quite clear on this. So broadly speaking, so this doesn't become too long, there are two main types of coupons created in the promotions tab on Amazon. There are the group coupons, which are like an 8-letter number string coupon that can be shared. That is a broad shareable coupon. Then there are the single use coupons. Those are like, what is it, like 15 characters or so, something like that. And those are individual, meaning like if you get 10 people, 10 different codes, each one of those people can use that code once, not shareable. If you're doing some deep discount that you do not want the whole world potentially getting, then you need to go with the individual use coupon codes. If you do a broad code, you need to expect that people can share it. That doesn't mean you should never use those. I use those when that is my intention. For example, if you're doing like, say, you know, a 25% off coupon and you're just trying to boost sales, like just more standard marketing practices, you might be thrilled if everybody gets that code. That's something you could use a group code, a shareable code. Now, if you're doing some 90% off Facebook offer ad promotion, giveaway promotion type of boost coupon, in that case, you're going to be pretty bummed if all 1,000 units of yours get blown out at 90% off in one day, because that's not what you planned on. So if that's what you're going for, you have to use the single-use coupon codes. Make sure you really dig into that so you don't mess that up. A ton of people have lost all of their inventory by making that mistake with setting up their coupons. Now, you have to be, just one little detail is that there is something in there. There's a checkbox that says like, oh, one use only or whatever. That doesn't limit people from ordering more than one. That means that one customer can only make one order. But that doesn't mean that the one customer can't order 1,000 units from you or 100 units from you. So that you have to set up limitations for your inventory, max order quantity to make sure that no one customer can order more than 1 or 2 units at a time, and then make it such that the coupon can only be used by that customer once. But if it's a group code, it could still be shared, and then 1,000 different people could order using that coupon. So the coupon thing, you have to be careful. So make sure you watch videos on that. Make sure you really dig into that, because you do not want to mess that up. Oh yeah, CD, thanks for always reminding me. Hit the thumbs up. Guys, if you're in here now, seriously, hit it. It helps a lot. And I appreciate you always reminding me to say it, because I literally never remember to say that. Let me see, I'm a little bit behind on the messages. Let me catch up here a little bit. What's up, Tim? Been a while. Yeah, what's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. I haven't talked to you in a while. Follow-up emails are not allowed in Europe, as there is a spam regulation. Yeah, I believe there are some differences. I know there was some stuff specifically with Germany, and there's some new things going on in the EU right now that are going to be interesting. We'll have to see how that applies to Amazon for sure. I missed the first 10 minutes. Have you discussed the course payment system we were discussing on the Facebook group? Oh yeah, I haven't even mentioned this on YouTube, but for those that are looking for the course, there's now a payment plan. There's actually 2 different ones. There's one that you can pay it in 2 payments, or you can even split it up into 4 payments, so it's much cheaper to get started. So if you're looking for the course, those options are available right now. I might still test and tweak, how many months and what the prices are at that. I'm trying to get feedback and see what people are choosing the most. But right now there is the 1-time payment, then there's a 2-time payment, or there's a 4-time payment. Now, obviously, the longer you drag it out, it has to be a little bit more, because there's just additional risk involved and, all that type of stuff. So that is there, but I know that a lot of people want to get started with less upfront capital. So that's there for people that want it. It's much easier to get into the course now for people that are looking to. So yeah, thanks for reminding me. I haven't even mentioned that on YouTube. Would you ever recommend competing with 8 first page listings that are sold and shipped by Amazon? Steer clear or go for it? Personally, this gets into a broader topic, which is that every like Amazon guru, and I'm not a guru of any type, tries to like make all of these ridiculous rules and stuff. And that one in particular makes very little sense to me. I mean, there might be something else going on if that's the case, but that fact alone, I don't really care. Like whether or not it's sold by Amazon or other people, like that doesn't scare me away. It makes me wonder, like, is there another reason that other third party sellers haven't got into it, like some sort of regulation or just some other weird thing going on? But I have no problem with competing with Amazon directly, like zero. Like sure, they might favor their own listings in some way, but they're not giving it the attention and the love that you can. That's the beauty of having a private label, your own brand, your own real estate on Amazon that you can control, is that you can control it. Amazon's like, look at Amazon's listings. Have you ever seen an Amazon listing that is as good as the type of stuff that we're talking about? Never. It's just basic pictures, basic bullet point. I mean, it's never good. Like you can always compete with that. So to me, I don't really worry about that. What nootropics do you like? What was that clear vial drink you posted on your Instagram? I don't do too many nootropics. I mean, I'm big into like natural health hacks, if you will. Not too many more on like the pharmaceutical feeling side of nootropics. I mean, I've experimented a little bit, but that's not really my angle as much. So I don't really have a favorite nootropic. That drink that I posted was called Quinton. It's like Quinton. It's seawater harvested from plankton blooms. Jessica's laughing.
It just sounds so ridiculous.
I know, right? A few people watching will be like pumped, and everyone else is like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I buy product from suppliers with credit card because PayPal is banned in Turkey? Yeah. Trade Assurance, which is Alibaba's platform, allows credit card. Or you can always do wires. I mean, there's other ways than PayPal. Where do you apply for a trademark? An intellectual property lawyer will help you with that. I wouldn't do it yourself personally. Let's see. What are some tips to get aggressive on PPC? Coming to the end of my launch and want to withhold my BSR. Well, I would need to know what you're doing so far, how long you're into it, but my broad advice is to go more aggressive overall. Like that means keep running automatic. You're probably at the stage where you can gather some data and run that into new manual campaigns based on past results. Search term report, export your data, look for the ones that were profitable, move those over into manual campaigns. Now you can also do manual campaigns based on just knowledge that you have gathered based on your product, meaning you can use keyword tools and know what keywords you want to be attacking, put those into manual campaigns as well, try to ramp those up. Yeah, I mean, overall, just don't get so like scared and reserved, especially in the beginning. You need to push it out there. Think about momentum more than profit, at least for the beginning. You have to. Scheduling air shipment this week. What can I do to prevent loss from damage during shipping? I mean, I suppose there's probably ways of getting insurance on that, or if you're doing like DHL type of shipment, there's definitely ways to include insurance. I mean, that's a pretty rare thing to happen, but you know, you could look into insurance if you want to really be protected on that. You're gonna have to pay for it, but yeah. Do you know if we provide super URL storefront link, do reviews get deleted full purchase? Probably not, but let me clarify that a super URL is different than a storefront URL. Super URLs are the old 3-year-old ones with the QID. Don't even worry about it; those are dead. But that's what we would call a super URL. The storefront URL shouldn't be deleted. I mean, I haven't heard of that personally. It's, you know, it's still a gray area, but it's a safe gray area, I would say. Well, safer gray area. Jungle Scout, Matt's content is straight fire. What's up, Jungle Scout? I got the hats. They're out of the frame, but thanks for the hats and the gear. I'm waiting on the shirts. I appreciate it. I'll definitely have to show everyone the Jungle Scout swag that I've got. Let's see. Is there a way to allow Amazon customers to have a 1, 2, 3, or 4 time payment for high ticket items? Nah, as far as I know, there's no way to do that. I mean, I believe Amazon offers their own credit card, for example. Like, you know, have you ever seen it? Like, your total could be $30 or whatever, and that's because they're trying to sell you a credit card, but you can't, like, set up payments on Amazon yourself. Yeah, that's the only thing that comes to mind there. Google AdWords is a question. I have little to no experience with Google AdWords. Any form of traffic can work. So one thing I like to say is that people that have particular expertise and experience in areas that I might personally not have, use your own area of expertise in your business, right? Like if you are a wizard at email address, at email lists or YouTube or like, one sec, or you're a master of, I don't know, building podcast audiences or something like that. Like use your expertise. If you know Google and you know that you could set up a landing page and point people to Amazon and do all that, like, I mean, everything can work. So I have no real like firsthand advice to really give you on Google AdWords, but yeah, I'm not sure where you're going with that, but it's definitely doable. Finally able to catch one of these live. Awesome info. Thanks. Appreciate it. What's your typical launch strategy? How would that differ from someone's strategy for launching their first product? Very nicely worded question, because as I started to read that, I was immediately going to say mine is different than what I would do if I was starting out a brand new product, because and this is part of the reason why I suggest building out product lines, is I can leverage existing assets on my product launches that you don't have if you're starting at zero. Meaning it's easier. Like if you already have a successful listing and you just like, you do cross promotions, you already have a following or Facebook or Instagram, you already have a head start that others don't have. So that is mostly what I do at this point. Now, if you're starting from scratch, or if I'm starting from scratch, I mean, I have a new brand. I've talked about like a brand that I'm starting to formulate in the back of my mind. That's going to be something I'm more passionate about. And that one, I mean, you're going to see me marketing it. So that's an interesting, it's something that I'm still beginning to think about how this applies to other people. But, there are legitimate reasons if you are like an Amazon YouTuber to not talk about your product. But if you are not that, which most of you are not, you should be telling everyone about your product. Like you should be like literally telling every single person and being like super passionate about what you're doing. So that just ties in a weird way. But what I mean is that for my new one that's coming, I'm going to do forms of marketing that I've never even done before. Like I'm going to be like just making sure every single person ever knows about it. Like it's going to be weird. I'm not being very clear right now. I know that probably doesn't make sense, but there are so many different ways. Now in the typical like Amazon world, let me like reel it back in and talk like normal. There's still so much that can be done with choosing a product that is seriously positioned in the right place in the market, finding the right market that has the right balance of market size and competition, fitting into that market in a way such that your product is genuinely a better choice to the consumer on some level, or why else would they choose yours? So if you can check off those initial boxes, like you already have a really good shot. Now you need people to find you. So the absolutely mandatory part of that is PPC day one. Literally people will be like, oh, I need 5 reviews. I need 10 reviews. From where? Where are you going to get your reviews if you have no sales? Unless you literally put yourself at risk of getting banned on Amazon, go ahead. I'm not going to do it. But if you want to go buy reviews or whatever so you can turn on your PPC and you're not going to, run any ads until you have reviews, well, to me, that's just like so upside down thinking. Like, get yourself going. Get some sales. Sales will turn into reviews, all of that. So PPC day one is absolutely necessary. That's like bare bones, 1,000,000% necessary. Now, getting into the more complex, this is the type of stuff that I really outline in like the scaling section of the course, Zero to Brand. My personal favorite to recommend to people is the Facebook offer ads. That's a very specific type of Facebook ad. It's not a regular Facebook ad. It's an offer ad. And the reason that I like to recommend that is because, look, you can get mega complicated and do messenger bots and ClickFunnels, and that's all cool. That's all great stuff. Influencers, that's all great stuff. But the reason I like recommending the Facebook offer ad is because you don't need any other assets in order to get started with it. You don't need a website. You don't need you don't need to have a following. You literally don't need anything to start running Facebook offer ads the day your product is in stock. I mean, and you can do that to basically emulate what Viral Launch or these other launch services are doing. You can run it through a keyword. You can give a discount. I mean, it's like the same thing, except that the fact that you're not giving it to some giveaway service where it's a bunch of people buying your product with, like, you know, silicone oven mitts at the same time. And it's just like, it's just such crap. Like, so I like recommending those. I think those are something that needs more attention, because not necessarily because, you look, it might not be the most efficient thing. It's still a little complicated. You need to learn. If you've never set up a Facebook ad, like, you know, you do need to learn that. But it's very good because you can emulate the launch service, and you don't need any complex assets yet. You don't need to have figured out how to collect emails. You don't need to have figured out how to have a landing page, all of that. You can literally just set up a Facebook business page, run offer ads to your Amazon. I mean, it's like literally that's really all there is. So that's definitely super valuable for you guys. Let me see. Hold on a sec. Quick reminder as I look for a question. That Amazon meetup, already mentioned it. If you didn't hear me talk about it already, first link in the description this Thursday. See you in LA. Can I create multiple Amazon brands under one LLC name? Yes, you can. There's pros and cons. I would say for most people, you're going to want to just have one broad LLC with all of your little experiments under it. And look, yes, there are definitely downsides to that. But this is one of those things where it's a matter of not overcomplicating and being lean and able to move fast and figure things out. And you don't always know what's going to lead to what. You know, what if your second or third brand ends up being your major focus? You want that quickness to be able to try a new brand. You don't necessarily want to set up another LLC, another bank account, get approval from Amazon, you know, get all that stuff set up, figure out your taxes, figure out your bookkeeping, all that stuff for a new business, which you will need if you want a separate seller account. That has benefits as well. I'll get to that in a second, but that's not for most people. If you're just like, you know, testing a few brands, just do it under one. That is my personal recommendation for most people. Now, if you really know the brand you're wanting to build and you're hyper focused from the beginning, and you know that you're going to have this one brand or maybe these two brands, keep them separate. The benefit for keeping them separate is that it's going to be cleaner. The finances are separate, everything's separate. It's easier to sell that brand because it's its own separate thing. But again, the downside is it's like way more complicated to just get up and running. For example, that new brand that I'm going to be talking about a lot more as I get it started, it's going to take months, so I don't want to talk too much about it. I'm going to be super open about that brand, by the way. You're all going to know what product it is. You're all going to be following it. Hopefully some of you will even be customers of it. Like, it's going to be something I'm passionate about, and I'm like into it. Like, it's mine. Like, it's going to be something I want to build for 10 freaking years, 20 freaking years. So, where's I going with that? For that one, no way am I going under my same LLC. I might even go like C Corp with that, because I might end up, you know, taking on investment. I mean, I think that brand, who knows? I mean, that could be $100 million, $1 billion brand. I mean, it has that potential, and I want to give it that route. So there's no way I'm just going to like throw that under like some other LLC that I already have. Like, I already have a couple other ones, but it's not going to just be on that, because this one, I want it to have its own infrastructure. And I'm at a point where, like, look, if I spend, you know, the $800 to file it and the, you know, couple thousand to set up the other stuff, like, I'm at that point where, like, I'll throw that money out there. You know what I mean? Like, my starting costs for this new business are going to be probably well over $50,000 just to literally get a product existing. So it's just a different game. Like, if you're playing that game, go ahead, keep it separate, set up everything, be clean. I know that's not most of the people that are following me looking for advice. Most of us are looking to get started in a business that can change our life. That's what that's what Amazon has been for me. It's been a stepping stone to be able to leverage this cash flow business that's working, this opportunity. It's opportunistic. It's not necessarily my passion, but leverage that into the next thing. So I went from, you know, raw hustle to this scalable Amazon-based business that allowed me to fund my life, change my situation, and afford myself the ability to take bigger risks. So that's where most of you are still playing. So, you know, you're looking for an opportunity, you're doing all of that. But if you're in that space, most likely you don't want to just spend, you know, a few grand more and complicate your life by setting up separate legal structures. So for most people, playing this more Amazon-based game, that is what we're mostly talking about here, I would say keep it to one. It's just going to be a lot simpler, and you still have basically all of the benefits. But if you're of that other playing field, then go for it. Keep it separate. Keep it more clean and separated and all that. I feel like that was a really good rant right there. Anush, you're an amazing dude, Matt. Great content, buddy. Got a jet. Talk soon, brother. See ya. Let's see. What are today's must-dos for your brand as far as marketing goes? Influencers, Facebook, Instagram. Please help. I think this ties into what I said earlier about like what is your expertise, but not only what is your expertise, what is the core of your market? Like where does your market hang out? Like is it like an older, more Facebook crowd? Is it like a young Instagram crowd? Is it even younger and it's more Snapchat? Is it Pinterest? Is it really crafty and stuff like that? You know, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to which platforms you need to focus on. I think everyone should do Facebook for their brand because the ad platform is just insane. So whether you're building an organic following there or not, I think the Facebook ad platform is one you need to be looking at. Instagram is good for credibility. It's harder to necessarily sell profitably through Instagram, but it's good for brand awareness and recognition. So I think Instagram is very important. And influencers, for influencers in particular, I would focus on Instagram and potentially YouTube. I think that Instagram influencers get way more hype. So I think there's probably a lot of underpriced opportunities with YouTube influencers in your markets. I mean, those are I would say those are what you said. Those are bare essentials for sure. But the obvious one is, look, like, even if you're doing my thing, which I just said is like, you know, building this massive new brand that is going to be way bigger than just an Amazon thing. Like, I'm still going to use Amazon as the launching pad for this new brand, even though this brand is like not going to be like an Amazon business by any stretch. That's my thoughts for this. I mean, this is like a full e-commerce play, full retail play. It's not like, but look, I still think Amazon could be $10 million a year or more. But yeah. So where I was going with that, sorry, I got triggered. Where I was going with that is your core marketing is Amazon. So don't forget that. You know, max out Amazon before you get too fancy. This Amazon opportunity is like, sure, it's more saturated. It's still wide open. It's still crazy. It's still an insane arbitrage, land grab moment in history of online business to be able to launch a brand on Amazon. So don't miss that by trying to get super fancy by, you know, getting like Pinterest, like, I don't even know, like, you know, focus on the biggest levers before you get into like the micro weird stuff. How can I collect customer data for retargeting, emails, demographics, etc.? Okay, so slight gray area, of course, but you can export all of your customer data from Amazon. So you can load that up into a Facebook custom audience for retargeting. That is a gray area because you're technically following up with Amazon's customers. You don't have their email, but you can still match them. You could potentially retarget, or you could create lookalikes based on them. You could have insert cards to lead them to email opt-ins. There's a lot of ways to do it, but that's going to be your main way. You can get the demographics, stuff like that type of information without even collecting an email, just by running the analytics on your audience that you export from Amazon into Facebook. You should start videos answering the how much money thing so it's out of the way. Yeah, that'd be hilarious if I start every single Q&A with how much money do you need to start with Amazon. I might just make a separate video, so every time someone asks, I'll just be like, I have a video. I should probably just do a video like, how much money do you need to start Amazon FBA? Oh my god, get like 1 billion views. How's the plant doing? Not well. The plant has taken a turn for the worse. We don't know what happened with the plant. Yeah, plant is not doing so well. I can't believe this plant thing is like recurring. thing. Still hoping for a Monday to Thursday AM meetup. Yeah, sorry. I mean, the meetups seem to be scheduled at night for the most part. The one that's this Thursday, again, I'll mention it's at 7 p.m. Check the link. All the details are there. Address, RSVP, all that stuff in the description. Top link. It's gonna be awesome. Gonna be speakers. I'm gonna be there. Come get your questions answered. Meet other people doing what you're doing. I'm sure it's gonna be a full house. So make sure you get in there before it's like full, or it probably will be. What do you think about launching with a break-even price and raising it slowly again to gain momentum? I strongly disagree with that. Let me explain. Let's say your product is regularly $25. If you price it at $12 from the beginning, trust me, I don't think you're going to sell as many as you think just because you lowered the price. Some cases you'll sell less because you lowered the price. It makes your product look crappy and cheap. You should not discount that much. I'm all for a slight discount. Like if you are $25 and your competitor that's slightly a worse product than you is $27, well, now it's okay because now it's a value proposition. It's just like, oh, well, look, this one's a little bit better and a little bit cheaper. It's obvious. But don't come in at 13. Then you're just gonna be like, well, what's wrong with this thing? I would rather you do promotions and coupons on a higher price rather than just lowering your price a ton. Lowering your price is never proportional to the conversion rate increase. Meaning if you half your price, your sales are rarely going to double. It's just not how business in general works. And that said, if you double your price, your sales usually don't drop by half either. What do you think about print on demand on Shopify? Does it really work? First off, I have little thoughts, but everything works if you make it work. I mean, it's not a scam, it's real. Print on demand just means that you upload the designs, and if somebody buys your shirt, you have it printed on demand and shipped to the customer. That's real. Now, can you acquire traffic that's willing to buy a shirt such that you are profitable? That's a more difficult thing. I'm sure people are doing it well, but I think shirts in general is like, it's kind of like what I just said in my recent video about cell phone accessories. I would put shirts like, I would just not try to start a t-shirt business unless it's just for fun and for a passion. Like I've thought about doing it just for fun or something, but like I do not think it's a good business. That you can check out Merch by Amazon. That's Amazon's own print on demand. What's the max number of reviews for your criteria? 1 billion. You like that? I'll see who understands that. I'm not even gonna, no explanation. No explanation. Can you send auto email follow-up straight to your customers after they order, or do you have to export and build through Facebook? No, you can do through Amazon's messaging platform, you can do automated follow-up through FeedbackWiz or Feedback Genius. I've been on Feedback Genius, but I'm looking to convert into FeedbackWiz. I'm using FeedbackWiz with some other accounts that I'm helping with. I think FeedbackWiz is probably a better solution at this point. Feedback Genius is more expensive, less features. I would go with FeedbackWiz. They gave a coupon as well. This was not planned. I don't even have a link to it yet, but if you use all caps MAP50, you can get I think it's 50% off your first month on FeedbackWiz. It's already really cheap. I don't know I forget the exact price. Sorry if you guys are from FeedbackWiz are watching. I forget, but it's cheap. It's not a lot. So I would recommend something like that. You can use any of them. That's the truth. I think FeedbackWiz has caught my attention because it has some added features and the price is really good. And it just seems like they're run by good guys. Like the guy who runs it is in the Facebook group, my Facebook group, I mean. So it's just cool. I would probably go, if I was starting from scratch now, I'd go with them. Will I actually migrate my existing ones? I'm still deciding. And that's just because I don't want to deal with customers missing emails or getting emailed twice because I'm turning one off and turning the other on. So, but if I was starting from scratch, I'd just go with FeedbackWiz at this point. But Feedback Genius is, totally capable as well. Or the 9,000 other software that do this are totally fine as well. I'm not super I've said this a million times, but any of the software, more than one are going to work. It's not like you're only going to be successful if you use Jungle Scout or not. Viral Launch, you're only going to be, it's Look, the tools are tools. Like that's just it. What's the best way to see if a market is viable or not? Only through the main keyword. Also, how do you know what the main keyword is? Best way to see if it's viable is to see if there are sales. So look at existing sales. Look at on Amazon first off. Look at if there's interest in the market. You know, is this something? This is the type of stuff I'm thinking about now for my new brand. But like, you know, are there Facebook groups with people pumped about this type of market? Are there people wishing that this product existed that doesn't exist? I mean, those are like obvious signs. For, you know, an Amazon launch, you're mostly going to be looking at what are the existing sales on Amazon. Yeah. And only through one main keyword. I never focus on one main keyword. I personally do not even, I hate the whole philosophy of the one keyword play. Like it's just not how it works. Like there are so many different keywords that people could type in for your product. On top of that, there are so many different ways people can stumble on your product other than a keyword. They can click on frequently bought together. They can click on sponsored. They can click on, you know, customers who also viewed. They can be in their cart and then Amazon suggests them something else. Amazon could send them an email with, oh, you looked at this, you might also like this. I mean, there's like so many other ways. So that to me is what I consider ranking on Amazon. It's like, how do you show up all over the place? It's not about showing up for your one keyword that Helium 10 showed you, or not. And I use Helium 10. I use Helium 10. I use those keyword things, but don't play the game of like one single keyword. You know, maybe you shouldn't go for the most popular keyword. Maybe the most popular keyword is going to be really hard. Maybe it's the 10th keyword that's going to be the one, like maybe it's a bunch of different keywords that are not the first ones. So yeah, I mean, I just think about the whole keyword thing a little bit different. I thought you used Manage by Stats for auto emails. No, I do use Manage by Stats. I use that for customer data. I don't use their email follow-up. I believe they have one. They didn't at the time when I started. Kyle, can anyone else see my comments? He skipped right over my question like 5 times. Sorry, I mean, I can't see everyone's. I see yours once. I don't see it another time, but let me see. Insight into why profitable keywords in my auto campaigns do not continue performing profitably when I single them into manual campaigns. Well, first off, make sure you're taking the exact customer search term. There's a lot of variables there. I mean, that should work, but if you're playing a numbers game with so much data, it might change. You know, you might get one profitable sale in an automatic campaign, but then when you blast it with ad spend, it might no longer be efficient. So maybe it's just too minor of a keyword. I don't know without necessarily looking at it, but if it's a highly profitable keyword within an automatic campaign, then it should definitely work the same. I mean, you're literally doing the same thing. You're just extracting it into a manual. So I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes it just changes over time too. Like that's something that is the most difficult part is that, and this is why one of the major traction aspects of your business on Amazon, like what you're just doing day to day when you're up and running, is tweaking and testing PPC is forever. You're never going to be like, yes, my PPC is done. That just doesn't happen. So if you you have to be constantly tweaking because something might perform well one month and then perform terribly the next month. And it's just, it's hard to explain, but it's like, just because something converts once doesn't mean it's like data. And this is why some people are far more analytical than me. And sometimes I'm like, data, like, yes, I'm not saying data doesn't matter, but like, it's not always so clean. Like, what if there are so many flukes, right? Can you get that? Somebody's at the door. Oh yeah. That's funny. I was going to wrap up anyways. Again, I think I'm just going to wrap up, but I really like the rant. I like the 1 billion. I like the rant I had in the middle. So appreciate the questions. Appreciate you guys being here. Once again, LA meetup this Thursday, 7 p.m. Check the link in the description. There's only like 13 slots left last I saw. I'm going to be there. There's going to be some speakers there. It's going to be cool. Network with people, meet people doing what you're doing, above you, below you, all of that. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, get in on that. There's another meetup also the following week, which I'm going to be speaking at. So if you're not in the Facebook group as well, that's in the description. There's going to be links to all of those meetups in there. Hope this was awesome. If you're catching the replay, hit the bell for the next one so you'll be notified. And thank you all, and see you in the next one.